What is up, Virgo? How are you guys doing? It's time for your weekly check in. We're going to see what's happening with you guys in the first week of December. My apologies for being so late on this. I am super behind right now. That was one hell of a heavy Mercury retrograde. And sometimes life fucking gets in the way, man. You know, that ain't like me. I'm a fucking time freak. I have moon and rising in Virgo. But no, I'm seriously a time freak. If I'm ever late for anything, there's a serious problem. Not really a problem. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason for it. Let's just put it like that. Anyway, the show must go on. So, if any of you are in need of a personal reading, all the information on how to go about doing that is in the description of this video. All right, let's just jump on into this. Let's see how it's looking. How's it looking between Virgo and the person they're dealing with, universe? How's it looking? First week of December, what's the energy looking like? Ooh, judgment reversed. Still doesn't really look like much of a decision is being made. Things are kind of laying idle. Ow. Doesn't look like very good communication is happening here either. There's an open door of opportunity hanging wide open. This person keeps a very close eye on you. I would probably even go as far as to say for some of you that they keep an obsessive eye on you, but doesn't really look like any action is being taken. Doesn't look like it. I don't know. I kind of feel like they are holding on to hope that one of these days the two of you will at least end up in communication, you know. But see, here's the thing. I don't really feel like they're waiting on you with open arms. They're waiting on you with their guard up, you know. Could be an Aquarius for some of you. I also have Capricorn. Yeah, block communication or just no communication. For some of you, there is a third party in the mix or just somebody else involved somehow, some way. Okay, well, we're going in circles now. That's kind of a boring spread, to be honest with you, but all right, let's see how they feel about you at the deepest level. What are their true energies and intentions? How's their energy look in general? What kind of person are they? Four of Swords. Well, they think about you all the goddamn time. That's not really necessarily saying anything about their feelings, though. Well, I mean, they feel a really strong feeling of unfinished business with you. And for some reason, they're pretty confident that they're going to hear from you at some point. Pretty confident. And whenever the Three of Wands comes out, I always have to ask why. Why are they so confident that they're going to hear from you? Have you done it before? I always have to ask that. Always. Told you, I think for some of you, this person keeps somewhat of an obsessive eye on you. But it's not really indicating why exactly. I'll go as far as to say I don't think this is true love. I don't think so. Very service to self type energy here, you know, possessiveness, obsessive possessiveness, service to self. Some of you could be dealing with someone that had an addiction issue. If you dealt with someone who had an addiction issue and you're curious, no, they are not clean. And when the devil card comes out in the upright right like that, that tells me that they've gotten worse. So death card reverse. See, we're going in circles now. Going in circles. We're not getting to a point. It's just spinning in circles. Death reverse, world reversed. So some of you have already spun in circles with this person. And that's very clearly depicted in this energy right here. Some of you dealing with a Scorpio also have Cancer, Aries, and that's it. You know, it could be anybody. Those are just energies. Let's get the advice here. Boop, boopy doo, doo, boo doo doo. What's the advice? Advice, advice. What is the best advice? So this is saying communication with this person would not be a very good idea. You know me, I always try to avoid telling you what you should or shouldn't do. All I'm going to say is communication with this person wouldn't be a good idea. I think that's all I need to say here. I'm not going to tell you not to. I'm just going to tell you that it wouldn't be a good idea. If you don't really understand why it wouldn't be a good idea, then communicate with them and find out. They haven't changed. I'll tell you that much. They haven't changed. They ain't even changed they goddamn underwear. They got skid marks from the pandemic and they goddamn underwear. They ain't changed nothing. And sometimes we have to experience that again to be reminded, you know? Some of you already know damn good and well what this person's all about. If you're wondering, no, they have not changed. No, they have not. So that's all this is saying right here. It's not really letting me dig very deep. That's what's driving me nuts about this right here. It's not letting me dig deep. I'm trying to dig and dig and dig and dig. And it's like, you ever try to dig a hole and you hit a rock? That's what I got going on here. It's not letting me dig deep at all. Maybe some of y'all are dealing with a person that's just not a very deep fucking person. This person may just simply not be an articulately thought out individual. Some of y'all might be dealing with a straight up dumbass. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think they're very deep, though. I don't think there's a whole lot to this person. So some of y'all may be wasting lots of time, effort, energy, and brain power giving this person way more credit than they deserve. Way more. Way, way more. Way more. When they're not that articulately thought out. They're not that deep. They're just not really all that mysterious and convoluted. But sometimes, man, I swear to God, you meet somebody who's so stupid that there's no way you can be that stupid. There's got to be more to you than that. So your mind starts filling in all the blank spots because you just can't comprehend how somebody could possibly be that dumb. Yeah, there is. Yes, there is. Anywho, let's get the advice. Oh, no, that was the advice. That was the advice. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're gonna move on from this. That I couldn't dig very deep into that, y'all. Maybe for some of you, this is teaching you how to let go. Teaching you how to just let go. I'm telling you. And this is for everybody out there, okay? I don't care who you are. Don't care what your sign is. Don't care why you're watching this video. Letting go is something that you have to give yourself permission to do. When energy becomes pure chaos, and I don't use that term metaphorically, okay? Energetically, there is an energetic phenomenon that is called straight up chaos. When energy becomes chaos, there's nothing you can do but step away from it. You're not going to be able to bargain with it. You're not going to be able to reason with it. You're not going to be able to bring logic to the table. You're not going to be able to bring reason to the table. You're not going to come to a resolution. You're not going to agree to disagree. You're not going to see eye to eye. It's not going to happen. When you're dealing with pure chaos, the more you try to figure it out, the less sense it's going to make. The harder you try to fight it, the harder it's going to fight back. All you can do is step away from it. You know, the karmic wheel, you know what I like to use to describe the karmic wheel? The karma game, the 3D karma game. It's like a big universal casino. It's rigged to work against you. Okay. Rigged to work against you. If you want off the karmic wheel, I got news for you. You have to just fucking say, I'm done playing and walk out and leave. Anyway, don't get me started on that. Okay. Let's see what's going on with the singles and the person that you're interested in. Single Virgos and your love interest. Do do do. Damn, straight out the gate. Right, straight out the gate, though. Drama, conflict. Looks like something popping off between you and this person. Doesn't look very friendly. Still, nobody is taking action to take things to the next level. This kind of, man, I hate this energy. Oh, it's so draining, dude. You know how much potential the two of you have. And I think for some of you, that's why you just can't bring yourself to let go because you see the potential, and there is potential. But if the potential is not being utilized, then what good is it? How long before you decide whether or not somebody's ever going to utilize it? There is potential here, though, but it's almost like for some reason, this person, I don't know if they're just stuck in their ways or just stubborn or just contrary, like opposition defiant, that type of energy. I don't think I've ever seen that come through quite like that in a reading before. But I'm feeling opposition defiance, being contrary, uh, just going against the grain to prove a point. A rebel without a cause type of energy. It's like they're kind of stringing you along just for the hell of it, just because it's funny, because it's entertaining, you know? Oh, some of you might be wondering whether or not this person is interested in more than a sex based connection. For some of you, this person could have an addiction issue potentially. And maybe you just suspect that they're talking to a bunch of other people. So, no new start in love is happening, even though there's a hell of a lot of potential here. It's just not. And again, for some of you, there's some kind of addiction in the way, maybe. Y'all just are not finding stable footing. I got to see this person's energy because it almost feels to me like they're getting a little bit of a kick out of this. I'm not going to lie, dude. Almost feels like they're getting a fucking kick out of this shit. What's this person's feelings, energies, and intentions? Five of Wands again. Yeah. Yeah. Very conflicted individual. I think they do get a little bit of a kick out of it. Now, this is some pretty twisted energy that usually stems back to childhood. where you know how psychology postulates that children who aren't given attention will do anything they can for any kind of attention they can possibly get. Like they don't care if it's negative attention. Negative attention is the easiest attention to get. If I can get a negative reaction out of you, that shows me that you care. That still shows me that you care. See what I'm saying? Even if I get a negative reaction out of you. Because in order to hate, you have to care. That's goes into one of the many, many reasons why you shouldn't dump too much energy into getting mad at haters. In order to hate, you have to care. you know? So I kind of think this person may enjoy the negative attention a little bit. Not only does it show you care, but it also shows me that I have power over you. If I can push an emotional button, I have power over you. And that validates me. If I can't get no kind of reaction or response out of you at all, and you can just brush me off like you don't give a fuck, that makes me feel like I'm 2 inches tall. Makes me feel so invalid and insignificant. So if I can get some frustration out of you, or some anger, or some sadness, that shows me you care. That shows me that I'm worthy, that I'm valid because you care. Does that make sense? I know it sounds so stupid, but that's the kind of energy I'm feeling here. Well, let's get the advice then. I'm not even going to put my 2 cents in on that. I will be talking all fucking night. What's the advice for Virgo? Man, you better pull your energy back. You better pull that energy back. Don't give them a negative reaction. Just pull it back and be quiet. You know that when you're dealing with a fucked up individual or a toxic individual, frustration is not what gives you the power. You know what will really make a toxic person eat themselves alive from the inside out? Silence. Silence. Silence is a toxic person's worst enemy, right? Because if you're not giving them anything at all they have is their own imagination, you know? So when somebody tries to trigger you negatively, give them silence. Pull your energy back. Because I think a lot of you, and I'm trying not to get too specific, because this, honestly, this right here is trying to zero in on a very specific point. I'm trying to hold back on that so I can try to cover as many situations as possible. But for those of you dealing with somebody that's stringing you along, giving you a bunch of false starts, hot and cold, and really confusing and breadcrumbing you. They do that for internal validation rather than chase after them, rather than trying to figure them out, rather than show them how frustrated you are. Just pull back and be silent. If all of a sudden you just stop texting and ghost me for 8 hours with no explanation, well, fuck you then. I'm going to ghost you for 8 hours. I might go a whole 2 days without fucking talking to your ass. All right? I'm not going to chase after you. Don't play their game with them. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's about time the two of you need to come together and see eye to eye on something. If not, I wouldn't drag this energy into 2026. There's a lot of potential here, but if there's nothing but games being played, the potential is worth not much more than a hill of horse shit. It looks like for a lot of you, this person's just playing with it. And I don't know. You tell me, you tell me how long you're willing to wait for this person to squeeze real hard, trying to fart and pop their head out of their ass. How long should you have to wait? Should you have to wait at all? Woo, Virgo. Y'all need to ride out this post shadow. Oh man, I'm feeling really, really heavy post shadow energy coming through the Virgo reading because your planet is in post shadow, which usually doesn't fuck with me. Usually. I only remember one other time that I can think of that it ever did, but it's honestly feeling like this is one of those times. Everybody's always like, oh, post shadow, post shadow. Ah, fuck post shadow. That don't do nothing to me. Man, this one is. This one is. And I got a really heavy Virgo influence as well. Mercury is the planet that rules Virgo. And I can feel that heavy shadow energy coming through. Maybe some of y'all need to just take this week and relax, and probably even next week too, because it'll be 100% direct, no shadow after next week. I would relax and lay low. And anybody that's fucking with you, cut them out. Just cut them out of your life. I ain't got time for this shit. If you're just fucking with me and doing nothing but bringing drama and silliness and fucking frivolous games and fuckery, I fuck you. I don't even need you in my life. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you my goddamn mama. That doesn't give you a license to treat me however you want. Really be, I would just be thinking in general. Love, friends, family, acquaintances, business partners. Think about what energies you do and don't want to bring into 2026. Okay. I would really be thinking hard about that. Okay. All right. Good God. Y'all drain me tonight, Virgo. Holy shit. I feel like those were the messages that my Virgo family needed to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget, information for personal readings is all down here in the description. All right. I'm out of here now, y'all. I will see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.